How are you feeling?
Well.
How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you here?
That's difficult to answer.
Could you give me some idea?
Offhand, I can't.
Whose idea was it that you come here?
A psychiatrist.
And what happened that ended up with your being here in the hospital?
The psychiatrist decided that this was the situation for me.
Did he tell you why?
No, the psychiatrist did not.
Has anybody told you why?
No.
Have you any idea why?
Yes.
And what is that?
I am not completely like other people.
What do you mean by that?
People dislike me because I am not completely like them.
And in what way are you different?
I am trying to do with my life something which few people try to do. And this influences my thinking and consequently my actions.
What is it you're trying to do with your life?
Play the piano for people.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
I sit differently when I play the piano, and when I'm away from the piano I occasionally look differently from other people, and this has caused dislike from people.
They dislike you because you sit differently at the piano?
Yes.
What way do you sit at the piano that people would dislike you?
I cannot describe an illustration of how I sit.
And I can't imagine it, that it would make people angry at you or at least dislike you. How do you know they dislike you?
My father does, and doctors do, because of the way I appear in relationship to the way I sit at the piano and occasionally stand when I'm away from the piano because of the way I sit at the piano.
How do you stand when you're away from the piano that they dislike you?
I can't describe an illustration.
Does it feel to you any different from the way other people stand?
Yes, it feels different.
In what way?
This is becoming too involved to describe.
Would I be right in assuming then that you don't feel that you belong in the hospital, but that other people did feel that?
Mic check 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2.
As soon as I express the belief that I do not belong in this hospital,
this is wrong, and I'm a schizophrenic. My medications are Luvox, Risperidol, and Seroquel. Note that they are the truth, time, and God. Dialysis takes belief out of the blood so God and the devil can experience love. Love has to do with sodomy with our soul and God and the devil. God has to test himself with the cross so Jesus can recover and come to us. Testing the space with feelings can change the physical form or state. People refuse to be my antibody due to my sexuality, and that is why they don't seem to be aware of me and know my thoughts.
Which is a mental hospital, then those who dislike me want to find a worse place for me.
Time is jealous of people with their own time to think and move, and we are confused because of this interference by time.
I'm not sure I understand. Could you make that clearer for me?
No.
Time did not care for Jesus, and is likely a product of God, since it is learned that God has no end time. Technology is a slave to time.
Is this a way of...
But yes, I can. As
Since
soon as I
a clock
express
is
the belief that I do not
required, since a clock requires it to function with order, especially with watches. They are communicating secretly with the force of silence of the flesh as they talk and move.
belong in this mental hospital, then those who dislike me want to find a hospital where the living conditions are not as good as this.
God has to test himself with the cross of Jesus as a solution for us. You test by applying feelings to the space to alter the intelligence and thereby physical. They hide the dirt, which is evidence of it or the spirit, and that is why they keep cleaning up.
But why are you in the hospital in the first place? I'm not clear.
They have it think with them in real time, like when they use a computer, so they can control the physical mentally. They don't want me lying, which is creating a difference of feelings by looking at them, and that is why they don't look eye to eye and are aware of being photographed. They don't
because I'm working to do something which in my life which most people do not do. This influences my thinking and occasionally my actions, and a psychiatrist has noticed this.
What has he noticed?
Likes the actions and the thinking, and has decided that I should be here to change them.
What actions?
don't look at each other because they don't want to copy the mind and the spirit to divulge elsewhere, like across nations and borders, internationally.
How I talk and how I look right at this moment.
And how would you describe the way you're talking and looking right at this moment?
As other people talk, and at this moment, however, I've been told that it is not the way other people talk and look.
Because they do not want to share intellectual assets. They wrongfully correct a lie by believing the lie by moving around, changing the order to create the truth which removes the feelings from it of the spirit or soul.
Have you any idea in what way it's not like others?
No, because I believe it is as other people talk.
So then, from your point of view, not from other people's point of view, from your point of view, you look, you talk, you think, you behave as other people do. You're very interested in learning to play the piano. You sit at the piano a little differently from the way someone else might, and you stand somewhat differently.
Occasionally I stand differently.
Now that, in itself, doesn't seem on the surface to be sufficient reason for being in a hospital. So what other reasons have been given to you, or what other reasons do you understand are the causes of your being here?
Encounters like in a room changes the heartbeat, and they fear that. There is a ratio of room-to-room control. Time is slower for some, like blacks, since some walk slower, and time makes it more difficult for them since they are more muscular. Blacks may be descendants of Christ due to a transformation of race on the cross. Memory not moving through time in physical, so physical will not change with thought. They know from my unknown by inverting what I don't know in my mind.
I'm supposed to not be mentally well.
Oh. And what's supposed to be wrong with you?
No doctor has told me.
It's hard to believe.
I tell the truth.
What are your plans? If things should go well, if you were to leave the hospital, then what?
So it is like I am their teacher without permission. So they are imitating it. Compress the time with contact force of the body, of the physical, to allow the physical to process mentally. They play a game exchanging minds when they talk to each other using the same voice to know what the other doesn't. Have a rational evening and maintain self-control. This is Ron.
I need financial help from my father to prepare me for attaining a job as a piano instructor at a university where I will be able to teach people how to play the piano and also play the piano for people.
Have you had the training yet to permit you to be an instructor?
No, I have not.
Have you tried?
I don't understand what you mean by
Have you tried to get the instruction?
Yes, I have tried.
What's happened?
I have not had the correct environment for the instruction, nor the correct financial help for the instruction, nor the correct instruction.
Have you been accepted for such instruction?
By some teachers, yes.
And by others, no?
Yes. Again, it has been about half and half.
Have you started any such instruction with those who did approve of it?